All right. I put another dose of water on the drywall and on this paper, and it helped a little bit as I start working at it. Needs time. It's so old, it took time for it to get soaked in a little bit. And this time, instead of using a razor scraper, I'm using a 6-inch broad knife. It's got some age on it, so it's got a pretty good edge on it, because I've used it quite a bit in doing drywall finishing work. So it has a little bit of an edge on it. Nothing like a razor scraper, but it's enough to get underneath it. So I get it started like that, and then then it starts peeling off. The trick is, again, see how it's peeling off? That's what you want. You see, I'm not doing any damage to the wall. See how easy that was? Now you can't do that when the vinyl face is on it. It just isn't going to happen, because the water just can't penetrate. The water cannot penetrate through the vinyl. It's plastic. So, we want to get it down to the paper. Now the paper can be soaked with water, and look. Okay, that's what you want. It's still tedious. And yeah, I mean, we're making the drywall wet, but this will dry. Allow it to dry before I do anything else to it, because there are other steps that have to happen here that I haven't told you about yet. But I've got to get this paper off of here because it's sticking up off the surface. If I try to do anything like prime this wall, sand it and then try to prime it with this paper on here, once the wet paint gets on there, it's going to peel off onto the roller, and I'm going to have a mess on my hands. So I've got to get this off of here. Now the drywall paper may come off a little bit too when I go to roll it, but I'm going to sand this down real good, and it typically doesn't do that. So, but I'm not going to get into that yet. Explain that later. So anyway, just keep doing this. Okay. Again, this was 2 coats, 2 dousings of water. I really don't like to put too much on. I know I've got to soak this paper, but it's just I don't want to destroy the wall while I'm trying to fix it. If I get too much water on this wall, eventually all this paper in the drywall is going to give up, and it's going to come off too. And then we're done. I might as well just take the drywall down and put new drywall up, which a lot of guys will do in this situation. They were like, forget it, just tear the drywall out, gut the room, and put new drywall in. Well, I don't think that we have to be that extreme, because guys, you gotta put the drywall up, yeah, but then you gotta finish it too. So there's drying time involved and everything else. Kind of 6 of one and half dozen of the other. So it's up to you what you want to do. If you want to tear it down and hang new drywall, I mean, you got to take the trim out and everything else. So, you got to decide what you think will go fastest. I'm pretty quick at this, and I know how to do it, and I can restore it. But anyway, I've already started. I got my Durock up, and I've already started. I got one first coat of mud and tape in here in the shower area, so I'm going to just continue on with what I'm doing. Anyway, I'm going to peel all this off, and I'll show you a little bit more about that, but I think that's enough of that for now. And then I'll show you the next step.